She wasn't Russian. She wasn't royal by blood in any real sense. She was a minor German princess from a dusty little court no one cared about. And yet, she stole the largest empire on earth. Not inherited it, not married into it quietly, she took it. While her husband, the Tsar, was still breathing, she rode out in a soldier's uniform, seized the army, forced him to abdicate, and within days, he was dead. This is not a fairy tale princess story. This is the story of the most successful female power grab in history. Welcome to She Rose. If you've ever felt underestimated, overlooked, treated like a political pawn, this one's for you. Because Sophia Friederike Augusta von Anhalt-Zerbst was born into almost nothing in the grand scheme of European power, and she died the absolute ruler of an empire that stretched from the Baltic to the Black Sea, feared and admired across the continent. She didn't just survive the Russian court, she conquered it. And the way she did it, ruthless, brilliant, and still debated 660 years later. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how a German teenager became the longest reigning female ruler in Russian history, and why they still call her the Great. May 2nd, 1729, Stettin, Prussia. Today, Szczecin, Poland. A baby girl is born to Prince Christian August of Anhalt-Zerbst and his ambitious wife, Johanna Elisabeth. They name her Sophie. Her father is a minor German prince, respectable but broke by royal standards. Her mother has better connections, Holstein-Gottorp blood, and much bigger dreams. Sophie grows up under a strict Lutheran father and a mother who sees her daughter as a ticket to higher circles. French governess, tutors, languages, history. The usual education for a girl expected to marry well, but not that well. Then, in 1744, everything changes. Empress Elizabeth of Russia, daughter of Peter the Great, is looking for a wife for her nephew and heir, the Grand Duke Peter. Sophie's mother receives the invitation. At just 14 years old, Sophie is packed off to the most dangerous, glittering, paranoid court in Europe. Imagine being 14, crossing into a foreign empire where you barely speak the language, knowing one wrong move could mean exile or worse. Most girls would crumble. Sophie, she started calculating. She arrives in Russia determined. She throws herself into learning Russian, even practicing in the freezing cold until she nearly dies of pneumonia. She converts to Orthodoxy. She takes a new name, Catherine Yekaterina Alexeyevna. In 1745, at 16, she marries Grand Duke Peter. And the marriage is a disaster from day one. Peter is immature, obsessed with toy soldiers and Prussia, openly contemptuous of Russia and of her new wife. They barely consummate the marriage for years. Catherine later writes that she spent her wedding night alone while he played with his toys. Humiliation became her daily reality. But here's the first big She Rose moment. While Peter plays soldier and embarrasses himself at court, Catherine studies. She reads Voltaire, Montesquieu, the Enlightenment philosophers. She observes every power struggle. She makes allies among the guards officers and the nobility. She also takes lovers. First Sergei Saltykov, then others. One of them almost certainly fathers her son, Paul, the future Tsar, though officially Peter is the father. 18 years of being treated like a broodmare and a political prisoner, most women would have broken. Catherine was building an army in the shadows. December 1761, January 1762. Empress Elizabeth dies. Peter becomes Tsar Peter III, and he immediately starts destroying his own reign. He ends the war against Prussia, Russia's enemy, and allies with Frederick the Great, the man Russians hate. He prioritizes his Holstein troops over Russian ones. He mocks Orthodox traditions. He plans to divorce Catherine and lock her away in a convent, or worse. The court, the army, the church all turn against him in months. Catherine sees the opening. Her lover at the time is Grigory Orlov, a handsome, ambitious guards officer with 4 powerful brothers. Together they organize the conspiracy. Bribes, promises, quiet meetings in the night. On the morning of June 28, 1762, July 9th, New Style, one of the conspirators is arrested. The plot is about to be exposed. Catherine is woken at dawn. She has minutes to decide, run or strike. She chooses strike. Catherine dresses quickly. She races by carriage to the Izmailovsky Guards regiment. They cheer her. She moves to the next regiment. Same response. Within hours, she has thousands of soldiers behind her. She is proclaimed empress by the clergy at the Kazan Cathedral. She puts on the uniform of a guards officer, green coat, sword at her side, and rides at the head of 14,000 troops towards Peter's residence. Peter is at Peterhof, then flees to Kronstadt. The navy refuses him. He is arrested, forced to sign an abdication. 8 days later, on July 17th, 1762, Peter III is dead at Rupture. Official story, hemorrhoidal colic. Unofficial reality, almost certainly murdered by Alexei Orlov, Grigory's brother. Did Catherine order it? Historians still argue. What no one disputes is that she benefited, and she never punished the killers. A German-born woman in a man's uniform leading the Russian army against her own husband and winning without a single major battle. This is not just a coup. This is one of the cleanest, boldest power seizures in European history. Crowned in Moscow in September 1762 as Catherine II. For the next 36 years, she rules with a mixture of Enlightenment ideals and iron pragmatism. She expands the empire dramatically. Victories against the Ottoman Turks give Russia the Black Sea coast and Crimea. She participates in the 3 partitions of Poland, wiping the country off the map and adding vast territories. She corresponds with Voltaire and Diderot. She founds schools, the Hermitage Collection, encourages arts and science. She issues the Nakaz, her instruction, full of progressive ideas about law and government, even while keeping serfdom firmly in place. The Pugachev rebellion nearly toppled her in the 1770s, a massive peasant and Cossack uprising. She crushes it. She has a string of powerful lovers and favorites, most famously Grigory Potemkin, who becomes her partner in ruling and conquering the south. The Potemkin villages legend comes from this era. She never remarries. She keeps power in her own hands until the very end. She took a backward, isolated empire and forced it into the center of European politics. Love her or hate her methods, Russia under Catherine was a force no one could ignore. Catherine died on November 17, 1796, at 67, after a stroke. She left behind an empire larger, richer, and more European than the one she seized, but also deeper contradictions, Enlightenment talk mixed with absolute power, cultural flowering alongside harsh serfdom. Rumors flew even in her lifetime, some vicious, some absurd. The truth is more interesting than the myths. A brilliant, ambitious, lonely, highly attractive woman who refused to be anyone's pawn. From a minor German court to the throne of the Russian Empire. From an overlooked teenage bride to the woman who overthrew a czar and ruled for 34 years. Catherine the Great never waited for permission. She never expected history to make room for her. She carved out that place herself, and in doing so, she changed Europe forever. That's the spirit we celebrate here on She Rose. If this story inspired you, if you're tired of waiting for someone else to hand you the throne, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell me in the comments which woman who seized power should we explore next. Because history is full of women who refused to stay where the world put them. The women who rose are just getting started, and we're only just beginning.